Okay, so either way, we get our monthly payment to be, $839.37. I mean, with the TVM solver, that gave us negative that, but again, that's expected because it's a payout, so that's why the negative's there, right? But you can also determine how much money you're going to spend overall to pay off the mortgage, the loan that is. Right? I mean, we're spending $839.37. That's per month. We're spending that much per month. This loan is going on for 30 years. 12 months per year times 30 years. So we have a monthly payment times 360 months. 360 months. So 360 again comes from 12 times 30. And so we end up spending, I guess so to say, or paying $302,173.20. $302,173.20. Now, why is it so much? Because remember, we're not only paying off the original loan, we're paying off interest. Okay, that's what we're also paying. And you can see, how do we get the interest? Well, you just subtract. In other words, you take the amount, right, that you're spending, you subtract off the loan, and whatever's left is how much interest you're paying. So we're going to get that much with interest. We're not getting, we're paying that much in interest. That's how the banks and stuff make money. I know the number's kind of high. It's more than the loan. I actually thought when writing up the notes that something was wrong. This was way too high, but this is actually correct. So, okay. All right, so that's one example. Let's do another one. Okay, so here, sometimes you might want to figure out how much is left to be paid on a loan. You might have a loan, let's say, for 30 years, and 10 years down the line, after you're making mortgage payments, you might wonder, well, how much of the loan is left that we have to pay? You might consider that. It may not be obvious at first, because you have to worry about interest and stuff. But this example considers that, So again, let's suppose we have a $140,000 mortgage, a home loan as before. The interest rate as before is 6%, and the loan's going on for 30 years, just like what we saw before. Okay? Now, the monthly payments we calculated already, okay? So we already know that. That's just what we did before. The question now is, though, how much do we owe after making payments for 10 years? How much do we still owe? So it's almost like here we're assuming, 10 years have gone by in the previous example. We want to know how much we have left to pay, how much is remaining 10 years down the road. Okay, well, we can use that TVM solver. I'm guessing you can use the formula. It's just the parameters might be a little bit different. I think what would happen is T would be 10, but everything else you would know. But we can use that TVM solver. Namely, we have $140,000 from before. The monthly payment is this. Okay. We got I, 6%. Okay. Capital N, remember, that's always little n times t. But notice t here is 10. Because again, what we have is, we've been doing this for 10 years. So 10 years have gone by. Okay? And we want to know what FB is. So I'm not sure in the formula, though, if little t would be 10. But we can use the TBM solver. But FB is what we want to know. Okay, we want to know, how much is left. Okay? Again, it may not be obvious only because, we have interest floating around. And since we're making monthly payments, it's being compounded monthly. So these two are 12. So if I were to go to the TBM solver, let's do that. Stop sharing this. Here we go. Okay, so I guess I didn't have to delete that, but that's okay. So what do we have? We have 36. Okay, so we have, notice capital N, though, is 12 times 10, right? That's what I said before. So it's 112 times 10. Okay. I is the same 6%. PV is the initial loan amount, which is 140,000. PMT, right? Negative 839.17. No, excuse me, not 17, 37. Okay. That's how much we're spending. That's how much our monthly payment is. It's negative here because we're spending that amount. It's outgoing from us. FB is what, and these two numbers, P/Y, are both not 112. Excuse me, they're both 12. Now what do we want? Well, we want to know what FB is. So we click that button, and we get this. That's what's nice about computers. We get it immediately. Okay, so it looks like we have 117,160.14. So in other words, it looks like we have $117,160.14 remaining in the account. So that's how much is remaining in the account to pay off, in other words. In other words, that's how much of the loan is left to pay off. Okay? That's what we get. Good. So that's what we have here. So again, in other words, we owe this amount. Again, it wasn't obvious at first. You can't just take this amount and subtract off this times 120, because that only gives you interest. So, all right. Good. Okay. So that's another example. Now, what I want to do, actually, let me ask this. Are there any questions about this? Okay, let's do another example. So in this example, this one's a little bit different. They do it it's something from the book, so I really like it. So let's suppose somehow, for whatever reason, we find out we can afford $700 per month mortgage payments. So we know we can get a mortgage. We don't know, though, what the total loan we can get is. What we do know is that we're able to manage $700 per month mortgage payments. What we do know is we're able to get a loan at 5% annual interest. APR is 5% for 30 years. The question now is, What's the largest loan you can afford? And how much money will you end up paying the loan company? And how much of that will be interest? Well, for the largest loan, we want to know for us, to get the loan, we're going to use our formula, and P0 is what is our unknown, right? That's the initial balance. That's how much we get. That's the loan. We want to know basically the largest P0 can be. We have our PMT, that's 700. Our R is 0.05, okay? The interest, and you convert it to a decimal, right? PMT, the monthly payment is 700. N is 12. We're making monthly payments, so it's compounded 12 times a year. T, this is going on for 30 years. 30 years. Okay. So let's do this. So we're going to use our formula. And again, we want to know what P0 is. I mean, here it's a little bit easier because P0 is already on the left side. It's not like with PMT where we had to solve for the unknown. Essentially, we do all the calculations. I did the intermediate ones. When you do this, make sure you use as many decimal places as you can. That will ensure the answer is as accurate as it can be. Okay? So we have all this. We're plugging in. Again, I use the calculator for this. Not sure why I didn't use Excel, to be honest. But anyway, what we end up getting is this. $130,397. Let me put a comma in there to make it easier for us. Like so. Okay. All right, that's good. That's what we get here. So that is the largest loan we can get. Basically, we're trying to see what P0 is, right? That's the loan amount. Okay. So it's $130,397.13. Okay. Now, let's say we want to know how much we're going to spend paying off this loan, right? So what do? We have our monthly payment. That's already known, right? Oh no, sorry, wrong. Thought I pressed the wrong button. $700 we know is our monthly payment, right? So we're assuming we're making that. So how do we know? That is, how do we know how much money we're going to spend paying off the loan? Well, $700 per month. This is 30 years, right? 12 months per year times 30 years, that's 360. So we just multiply. Doing so, you get this. So this is the loan. This is how much we actually spend. But what else are we putting money towards? We're paying off the interest. How do you get the interest? You take how much you're spending, right? And you're subtracting off the loan. That's what the interest is. You're taking how much you're spending and subtracting off the loan. What's left over must be the interest. Okay. Let me just stop the recording. I'll say that again.